Lately, there has been a lot of talk about the creation of a new Ghanaian national airline. I say new because this will not be the first time. It will be the third. So let's talk about the original Ghana Airways. In 1958, the government of the newly independent Ghana in conjunction with British Overseas Airways Corporation founded Ghana Airways. A 7-year contract was signed in which 12 BOAC personnel were seconded to train the Ghanaians so that they could eventually take over operations. By the end of the first year of operation, the airline had made a net profit of $28,000 and was expanding. In 1961, the administration of Kwame Nkrumah had a desire to reduce the amount of foreign influence in its affairs. An agreement was reached out to buy out BOAC of their 40% stake, making the airline 100% state-owned. To the administration, the airline was mainly a symbol of national pride and statehood. Nkrumah expressed his country's pride in the airline in a 1964 speech, saying, "Naturally, it increases our self-confidence to observe our own people helping to control the intricate mechanisms involved in the functioning of our airways services. And we certainly experienced a glow of pride in seeing our flag flying on planes and ships traveling to other countries." To show the Ghanaian flag around the world, multiple destinations were added, but only a few were profitable. Mounting losses were not enough to stop the airline from flying to loss-making destinations. Successive governments continued to support the national pride narrative and ignoring the business aspect. Fast forward to the 90s, the airline received Category 1 status from the FAA and started flights to New York City. This was a big achievement as the United States has always been a major aviation market. After signing a cooperation agreement with South African Airways, the airline started a second flight to the US, flying to Baltimore City through Banjul, Gambia. The consequences of mismanagement would finally catch up with the airline, as evidenced by several incidents. On January 13, 2002, some disgruntled passengers threatened to burn a DC-10 aircraft and the airline's offices at Banjul International Airport. According to the passengers, who were mostly students returning to the United States, they had been informed by the airline officials that their flight was to arrive in Banjul at 10 a.m. However, when they arrived at the airport, they were informed that the aircraft had arrived at 3 a.m., 7 hours earlier than the scheduled time, and had already left for the United States. An airport official disclosed a similar incident had happened the week before, leaving 40 passengers stranded. In June 2002, a Ghanaian Airways DC-10 aircraft was impounded at Heathrow Airport due to unpaid debt of over £4 million. On July 27, 2004, US officials suspended all Ghana Airways flights to and from the US. The airline was accused of using an aircraft that had been ordered by the FAA to be grounded due to safety concerns. The airline had also allowed its operating license to expire but continued unauthorized direct flights to the US. Many passengers who had purchased their tickets before the ban were stranded. 2 angry passengers were reported to have taken 2 of the airline staff members hostage. The situation ended after a 2-hour standoff with the police. All the issues outlined above were as a result of many years of poor management practices and corruption which are common at many state-owned airlines. An audit carried out in 2003 revealed alarming transactions including acquisition of 2 DC-9 aircraft in which the airline disbursed $7.65 million, although the transaction cost was $5 million. No records were found to account for the extra funds. Towards the airline's final days, the government had stopped injecting cash into the money-losing entity. Efforts to find a private joint venture partner to inject much-needed funds were unsuccessful. With mounting debts and recurring losses, the airline was liquidated in June 2005. Behind the scenes of the drama facing Ghana Airways, a new airline was being set up. Ghana International Airlines commenced operations in October 2005. The Ghanaian government owned a majority 70% stake and the remaining was owned by a US consortium. The new airline suspended operations on May 13, 2010. They say the third time's a charm. Reports have surfaced that Ghana is looking into starting a new national carrier. At the moment, the aviation industry is in chaos due to a sharp decline in travel. Assuming things return to normal, I have a question for you. Should Ghana start a new national airline?